Michele Tittler from the political organization and race-based law. It's going to be hard to contain myself because I truly believe, as I think all of us should, that people like Bellegarde, who is the chief of the Assembly of First Nations, should be charged by the RCMP with inciting hatred towards Canadians, in particular white people, but basically anyone who is not their race. This guy has now declared that all the land is theirs, that no decisions will be made in Canada without them being a part of it, them getting shares and getting work and getting the money. Natives have always been able to get work wherever they wanted to. To start to bully that only they are going to get contracts and work in these resource industries it's race bullying, it's thuggery, it's brown shirt stuff. It's the kind of stuff that went on in Germany with Hitler. And no one in Canada is objecting to it. And so don't ever wonder what happened in Germany, because this is happening here in Canada. We have people from the Native community leadership, mostly the leadership, standing up, declaring that all of Canada, all the land in Canada is theirs, in front of landowners, people who pay rent and mortgages, people who go to work every day and sacrifice for their families, for their children, are stressed out. Some people have heart attacks, some people commit suicide. There are so many health ailments that go with the stress. And we're already taxed to almost 50%, and billions of it, up to 26 billion of it a year, goes to just the Indian industry itself, the lawyers and the chiefs who are perpetuating all of this segregation and division and all of this us against them. And they are inciting hatred in their youth. The youth in this generation in Canada are the most aggressively racist, bigoted, abusive, hate-filled, propaganda-filled group in all of the generations of the natives that I've ever read about or seen. It's a remarkable difference in the dialogue. You can see the 70-year-old Aboriginals, the difference between how they talk, the 50-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, and now the youth. It's just astronomical. They've been so pumped with hatred and lies, full-out lies, not just distortions of history, not just concentrating on only negative and nothing positive. And believe me, we've heard it all from coast to coast, and we've screen capped it all, so we have the proof. The RCMP need to start charging Bellegarde, Derek Nepinak, and all of these leaders with inciting hatred towards an identifiable group, which is Canada, Canadians. In particular, white people. They're obsessed with white people. They don't seem to know, and they're not passing it on to their youth, that there are many, many, many races here. Yeah, I'm in Vancouver in particular. There's so many here. We all make it work. And still, now in 2016, the dialogue is worse now than ever. It is so clear that the hate speech coming, the blame racist agenda and hate speech coming from the upper echelon, the AFN, the Assembly of First Nations, all the chiefs, whom none of us vote in. Their own people don't even vote them in. They vote each other in. It's a gang. They're just a gang. Nobody votes them in. They're completely unaccountable to anybody. Not to Canada, not to our politicians, not to their people, not to the world, not to the United Nations. They go to the United Nations and tell lies about Canada so that they can continue the propaganda that Canada is doing something to them when they are indeed doing it to their own people. People like Bellegarde should not be on television declaring that all the land is theirs and teaching his people, the youth, to talk like that. We've done nothing but screen cap evidence of youth coming on saying, you stole our land, you white supremacist pigs. They just call us every name possible, and they identify us by our skin. That is their leadership inciting hatred against an identifiable group. And so many of us can definitely attest to it, but I've screen capped it. I've taken nothing but proof and evidence of it. I've been trying to get the RCMP involved in this for a long, long time. It's a really serious problem. It's like these people, when they say they don't want to assimilate the leadership and the game, the blame game, it's such a blame game. It's all propaganda. When they don't want to assimilate, what they mean is they don't want to have to do anything. Anything. They don't want to have to be accountable for anything. These leaders, they don't want to assimilate to accountability. They're okay assimilating to extortion, the resources, taking all the land, taking our money, treating us, dehumanizing us. They literally dehumanize us. They never talk about Canada as if we are people and taxpayers. When they talk about taking these things from people, these resources belong to all Canadians of all races. What Bellegarde is basically saying is that if he were standing at the gates when people of other races came together, he'd say, no, you can't own land. Only my race can, because we're the supremacists, we're superior, and we own all the land land simply because we were born this race. So many of them are mixed. And so let's ask this question to Perry and all these race supremacists who think that just because they are their race, they own land. And that landowners who actually pay for land and who have been here for generations and generations and generations. Perry Bellegarde doesn't know what his 10th generation great-grandmother was doing. He has no connection to his ancestral traditional lands and cultures and territories and customs any more than any of us do. I mean, he's in the exact same boat all of us are. We all lost our languages, cultures, and we lost our land. People came here to buy land, to create freedom and to create this culture, this beautiful culture of all races being equal under the sun and the law. Oh, no, not with these native supremacists. No way. We can't vote in their elections. Their own people can't vote in their elections. These guys, Perry Bellegarde and these guys, are literally just, it's this gang. Unelected, unaccountable, unprecedented freedom of accountability. Just bullying our entire country, all the resources, saying all the resources of the land is theirs now. Okay, so here's the question. So Perry, if it's all your land, all your race, just your race, 2 million of you, and you want to build a casino right here, but Derek Nepinak doesn't, he wants to build a farm right here. Do you guys start fighting each other again like you did in the past before Canada was formed and before this modern day property rights, although we don't have proper property rights in Canada, we need that. That's a Trudeau thing, Pierre Elliott. But we do have property law and we do have a precedent of people paying rent, mortgages, that kind of thing. This is the way it is around the entire world. Nowhere else in the entire world, not even in Japan, where they are indigenous to their land, do they get free land. Okay? You need to stop bullying our country and acting as if. I'll tell you something here. Here's the story. Here it is right here. It's 2016 in Canada where everyone pays for land. They don't go around bullying people for free land and resources based on race supremacy. That's not how it works anymore, Perry. Civilized nations have advanced beyond that kind of archaic race thuggery now, where it no longer matters what race someone is. They have a right to own land if they can pay for it. Who do you think you are teaching? And I can tell you right now, RCMP and Canada and all of the natives, do not listen to these leaders anymore. They're leading you down the wrong road. They are creating and inciting hatred and segregation and division and racism. They are doing it, not Canada. These leaders, because it's their pockets they're worried about, not you. The grassroots Aboriginals live in squalor because of these leaders not taking care of them, because all they ever do is get up and bully Canada based on race-based supremacy agendas. Now, Perry, the next thing you're going to do when you get up into the media is you're going to stand up and you're going to declare that you're going to turn around and focus on the fetal alcohol syndrome problem in your communities. There's going to be no more talk about what you're going to tell Canada what to do. You're not telling any of our elected officials what to do anymore. I understand, you know, that you can wrap that wimpy, not too smart Justin Trudeau around your finger, but you're certainly not going to get past me. And you're not going to get past any of the people that I've collected, including grassroots Aboriginals who are sick and tired of you too. They too are fighting for their freedom. You want to own all the land? You think all the land is yours? Your own people don't have property rights on their own land. They can't even own their own houses. You need to get back to basics and start taking care of your own people and stop bullying Canada. We're doing something right. Somehow we've been able to take care of 36 million people and you can't even take care of 2. Now get to work. I mean it, Perry. I'm coming right for you guys, for you leaders. We don't have anybody in Canada standing here speaking for us. We have wimpy politicians who, if they stand up to you, get called racist and get shoved out, just like we saw with Daleen Ruiz with the NDP and so many politicians every time they try. That's why I stood up and formed a company. I'm independent. And I'm for Canada, all Canadians. This beautiful nation full of racists from around the world, and we all make it work except you.